Welcome to the IEEE Standards Association 2020 Award Ceremony.
"2020 has been a year unlike any other. These unprecedented times have made all of us learn new ways of living and new ways of working. In spite of these challenges, we have adapted to online meetings, virtual conferences and events, working from home, and other changes that were required in light of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And just as we have persevered in the face of obstacles, so the 2020 IEEE SA Awards recipients have persevered throughout their careers.
Whether it was trailblazing new technologies, deploying innovative new certification programs, or extending current standards work to expand the use of emerging technologies, these worthy honorees have worked diligently to achieve lasting results. In 2020, IEEE SA awards are being given to individual engineers, to associations, and to standards working groups, which showcases the diversity of the involvement in IEEE standardization.
So, in a year that was memorable in so many ways, it is our pleasure to celebrate the accomplishments of these outstanding groups and individuals in a new way, through an all-virtual awards ceremony. For each IEEE SA award, we'll share information about why that honoree received their award, and we will also give each recipient a chance to share a few words themselves. Please watch and learn about our 2020 IEEE SA Awards honorees.
The 2020 Ron Waxman Design Automation Standards Committee Meritorious Service Award is given to John Biggs in recognition of outstanding service exemplifying the spirit of the desk.
Reduced instruction set computing architectures, known as RISC for computer processors, are the underlying technology for everything from laptops to mobile phones. They make possible the smaller, portable, battery-operated devices that we use for a lot of computing today. John Biggs has been involved with RISC developments for almost 35 years. As a chip designer, John has used and developed many IEEE standards in design automation. Currently, John serves as the chair of IEEE Standard 1801, popularly known as Unified Power Format or UPF, which has standardized a method for specifying power intent of an electronic design. This standard is widely used for verification of structure and behavior of a design in the context of a given power management architecture. For his pioneering work, John has been named the recipient of Ron Waxman Design Automation Standards Committee Meritorious Service Award for 2020. On behalf of the entire Design Automation Standards community, I would like to thank John for his services. Congratulations, John Biggs.
When Yatin told me I'd been nominated for the Ron Waxman Meritorious Service Award, I felt very flattered, not to mention a little surprised. But not as surprised as when I learnt that I'd been selected as this year's recipient. Since getting involved with the IEEE standards back in 2007 when the 1801 workgroup was formed, it's been a great pleasure and a rare privilege to get to know and work closely with so many highly skilled and knowledgeable people from such a broad cross-section of our industry. In particular, I'd like to thank Gary Delp, Joe Daniels, Eric Marshner, David Cheng, and of course, Stan Krolakowski and Yatin Trivedi for all their guidance and support over the years. I feel extremely honored to be recognized by the IEEE in this way, and so it is with great pleasure that I accept this award. Thank you.
IEEE SA Emerging Technology Award has been given to the IEEE 802.1 Working Group for the development of IEEE Standard 802.1 CM-2018, IEEE Standard for Local and Metropolitan Area Networks, Time-Sensitive Networking for Fronthaul, the first IEEE standard to connect a cellular network's radio equipment to its remote controller via a packet network, in particular over a bridged IEEE 802.3 Ethernet network.
In recent years, Ethernet real-time systems have been challenged by multiple proprietary offerings in various technologies and fields. In response, the IEEE 802.1 Working Group formed the Time-Sensitive Networking, or TSN, Working Group to develop a unified portfolio of standards that provide interoperability solutions and high synchronization fidelity. These standards specify profiles to allow Ethernet bridge networking to be used in applications originally designed for other networking technologies. The groundbreaking work of IEEE 802.1's TSN profile for fronthaul is an enabling technology for the eagerly anticipated 5G networks being installed worldwide. With its anticipation of these changing and evolving networking needs, the IEEE 802.1 Working Group is a worthy recipient of the IEEE SA Emerging Technology Award.
My name is Glenn Parsons. I am the chair of the IEEE 802.1 Working Group. I am honored on behalf of the 802.1 Working Group to accept the IEEE SA Emerging Technology Award. Thank you very much. IEEE 802.1 CM is the Time-Sensitive Networking, or TSN, profile for fronthaul. We collaborated closely with the Common Public Radio Interface, or CPRI cooperation, to define a bridged Ethernet network between a cellular operator's radio equipment and its controller. What began 15 years ago to support audio-video bridging has developed into a TSN toolset that was first leveraged with the standardization of 802.1 CM. We are motivated by industry interest in our TSN technologies. The TSN standards provide a tool set that allows bridged Ethernet networks to deliver the right packet at the right time. We are excited to standardize time-sensitive networking for new industries such as industrial automation, automotive, and aerospace. It's an amazing time for our industry. Thank you again for this recognition.
An IEEE SA Standards Medallion is given in 2020 to Janos Farkas for exceptional skill in championing the standardization development of time-sensitive networking.
Janos Farkas has been instrumental in extending IEEE's Time-Sensitive Networking, or TSN, standard, known as IEEE 802.1, particularly in identifying industry verticals that TSN could support and in creating the requirements to fulfill the needs of that vertical. Janos has served as an editor and chair of the IEEE 802.1 Working Group, displaying the ability to deal with all levels of technical discussions and to organize and direct large groups of individuals. He is a leader in the area of deterministic networking, helping to increase the influence and use of IEEE 802.1 worldwide. In recognition of his wide-reaching efforts, Janos Farkas has been awarded an IEEE SA Standards Medallion.
Greetings to everyone. It is truly a great honor for me to receive this prestigious award. I thank to the IEEE Standards Association for the Standard Medallion, to the Awards Committee for selecting me, and to the people who nominated and endorsed. I'm very pleased for this exceptional recognition. I'm honored and humbled for being thought worthy to be listed with previous recipients. I would like to thank to my colleagues for their support, guidance, and mentorship. I'm thankful to the extraordinary members of the IEEE 802.1 Working Group who I've been privileged to work with and learn from. I'm much obliged to my colleagues at Ericsson Research Hungary and thankful for the support of Ericsson through my career. Thank you all.
An IEEE SA Standards Medallion is given in 2020 to Wen Peng Luan for leadership and contributions to the development of standards in the field of distributed energy resource integration.
Distributed energy resources, or DER, are the new tool for 21st century electricity generation. Utilizing renewable resources like wind and solar energy, DER connects local sources of electrical energy to the grid. This decentralized form of energy generation is transforming the way electric power is made, supplied, and transferred. Wen Peng Luan has been a leader in this field, serving as chair of the IEEE Standard 2030.9 and IEEE Standard 2815 working groups, looking at new ways for microgrids to be used and for integrating DERs into the electrical distribution system. For his efforts in this evolving technology field, Wen Peng has been awarded an IEEE SA Standards Medallion.
I'm deeply honored to receive the IEEE SA Standard Medallion Awards. I'm very grateful for this recognition. Distributed energy resource integration plays an important role in ensuring energy security. In the past 7 years, I have been privileged to work with many experts in the standardization works in this special area and made great achievement. The credit must be shared with all the following peoples, including committee officers, my colleagues, team members, and my family. Without their support, I never could have reached to this stage. I also want to thank SGCC and IEEE SA for nominating and assuming this award. I'm looking forward to working with you all in the future. Thank you.
An IEEE SA Standards Medallion has been awarded to Thomas A. Privo for ongoing leadership and contributions to the development of IEEE transformer standards and the standards development process.
When it comes to electric power transformers, Tom Privo is an industry expert who has helped define and update key IEEE transformer standards. Tom championed activities around transformer installation, which separates the live parts of a transformer to ensure that each part works properly. Tom's knowledge on maintaining installation integrity and thus the life of a transformer has been an important aspect in the development of multiple IEEE C57 standards. Tom has also participated in IEEE SA governance, chairing multiple committees and defining new processes that continue to be used today. For these efforts, Tom is receiving an IEEE SA Standards Medallion.
Hello and greetings to the IEEE SA community. My name is Tom Privo, and I'm honored to receive the IEEE SA Standards Medallion Award. As we all know, standards development efforts is not a sole journey. It takes a group of dedicated professionals to develop and maintain the body of standards that we have today. Your recognition of my efforts are a reflection of the team effort put forth by the Transformer Committee, by PES, and IEEE SA. Standards development is a voluntary commitment. You've recognized my commitment, but that has not been possible without the support of my wife, Rosie, and my employer, Wolfman Electrical Technology. Finally, I want to thank my colleague and friend, Peter Balma. Peter nominated me for this award, and I know it took a lot of effort on his behalf. Thank you very much.
An IEEE SA Standards Medallion has been awarded to Peter Reed Wilson for leadership in standards and technology roadmapping in power electronics.
Peter Reed Wilson is a leader and advocate for standards in the field of power electronics, as well as a primary driver to reinvigorate IEEE power electronics standards activities. In addition to serving as Director of Standards for the IEEE Power Electronics Society, Peter also helped author the International Technology Roadmap for Wide Bandgap Semiconductors, a first-of-its-kind global road mapping activity in its field. Based on this work, wide bandgap power devices are more broadly understood and available to engineers. Peter has also been a spokesperson for power electronics standards, raising the visibility of IEEE efforts. In recognition of his achievements, he has been awarded an IEEE SA Standards Medallion.
Thank you to the IEEE Standards Association for this award. It means a lot to be recognised by one's peers. I'd like to recognise the long-standing support from the IEEE Power Electronics Society, PELS, without which the work leading to the award would not have been possible. Efforts such as ITRW rely on a great team. Thank you to all the volunteers that made ITRW happen. I'd particularly like to acknowledge my co-chair, Bram Ferreira, and also the IEEE staff involved, including Alicia Tomaszewski and Mike Kelly. I'd finally like to give a special word of thanks for my family, especially my wife Caroline, for tolerating the periods away from home to travel to ITRW meetings. The ITRW journey is still ongoing, there's lots more work to do, but above all it's been such fun working with such great people. Long may that continue. Thank you.
The IEEE SA Conformity Assessment Award has been given in 2020 to the Chou Association for leadership and commitment towards designing and operationalizing the IEEE 2030.1.1 Electric Vehicle Charging Conformity Assessment Program.
Creating a standard is one thing, ensuring it can be used with confidence by industry is another. The Chou Association helped build assurance in IEEE smart grid standards through its support of IEEE Standard 2030.1.1, which addresses direct current quick charging of electric vehicles. The Chou Association led a collaborative effort within the IEEE Conformity Assessment Program to create a recognized certification program for electric vehicle charging. This program will contribute to the widespread deployment of safe, efficient, and ultra-rapid charging stations, accelerating adoption of electric vehicles in North America and beyond. For its efforts, the Chou Association has been recognized with the IEEE SA Conformity Assessment Award.
Hello everyone, I'm Takafumi Anegawa, President of the Chou Association. It's a great honor to receive the Conformity Assessment Award from IEEE. In 2010, the Chou Association was established as an organization to deploy a fast charging standard for electric vehicles. Since then, we have introduced the Chou technology to North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Oceanian countries. Africa is not an exception. Today, there are more than 33,000 Chou churches in the world, including 4,700 in North America. Under these circumstances, maintaining compatibility becomes an important responsibility for us. We have worked hard for it, and today we have received the Conformity Assessment Award. I appreciate the great contribution of all Chou members to achieve it. In the end, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude to IEEE because our activity in North America could not be accomplished without the strong support of IEEE. Thank you all, and we will go further to spread EVs and save the environment of the earth for our children.
An IEEE SA Lifetime Achievement Award is given to Chung Kwang Chou for continued energy, persistence, and dedication to inclusiveness of scientific thought through participation and leadership in the IEEE International Committee on Electromagnetic Safety across almost 5 decades.
C.K. Chou is a pioneer in both research and standardization related to human exposure to electromagnetic energy, or EME. He was deeply involved in early IEEE efforts to create EME exposure safety guidelines. As a leader of the IEEE International Committee on Electromagnetic Safety, CK has been involved in its activities for nearly 50 years. He has been a major contributor to the scientific foundation upon which safety standards for human exposure to non-ionizing electromagnetic fields are based. He was instrumental in the creation of IEEE C95 standards on radio frequency safety, both as a working group member and in leadership roles. His service as a leader of IEEE standards activities, as well as a broad-based respect from his peers for his many achievements, make him a worthy recipient of the IEEE SA Lifetime Achievement Award.
It is a great honor to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award. I sincerely appreciate the nominators of the International Committee on Electromagnetic Safety, the Awards and the Recognition Committee, and the Board of Governors. Thank you. I have been fortunate to work on bioelectromagnetics since attending the University of Washington in 1971. My mentor, Dr. Bill Guy, not only advised me on my research, but also encouraged me to participate in IEEE standard activities. Through many years of laboratory experience during my 3 jobs at the University of Washington, City of Hope National Medical Center, and Motorola, I learned the difficulty in conducting high-quality research in this field, involving both biological and physical complexities. Therefore, it is ultimately important to develop standards, especially safety standards, based on solid scientific evidence. Over the decades, I have worked with and learned from many brilliant minds and committee members with a wide variety of engineering, scientific, and medical expertise. The happy collaboration with my colleagues made my committee work very enjoyable. Thanks to IEEE Standards Association for developing technological standards for the benefit of humanity, and for the privilege that I can play a small part in it. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Grace, for her tireless support of my endeavor during my career. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Thank you.
An IEEE SA Lifetime Achievement Award has been given to Howard Wolfman for dedicated and enthusiastic service and active engagement on the IEEE Standards Association Standards Board and its committees for more than 25 years, for outstanding leadership in promoting technology and standards development in the solid-state lighting industry, and in recognition of 61 years of continuous IEEE membership.
Howard Wolfman has dedicated many years to standards activities, not only from the technical development perspective, but also as a dedicated IEEE volunteer. He has served on committees of the IEEE SA Standards Board for a quarter of a century and has worked in the field of solid-state lighting for more than 60 years. Howard has been a leader in championing new work and new opportunities in standards. He is known among his peers for his unparalleled dedication and is often the first to volunteer when something needs to get done. Howard has played leading roles throughout IEEE, serving on multiple boards, committees, and regional structures. For all he has done both as a practicing engineer and as an IEEE volunteer, Howard is recognized with the IEEE SA Lifetime Achievement Award.
Hello, everyone. I'm both grateful and humbled to be a recipient of the 2020 IEEE Standards Association Lifetime Achievement Award, and I'd like to thank the Nominations Committee and the Board of Governors for selecting me for this honor. During my 25-year-long participation in IEEE standards development work, I shared the Standards Board goals of expanding our leadership in standards development, along with maintaining the integrity and success of IEEE standards. An example of maintaining our leadership in standards development was the 2015 publication of IEEE 1789, Recommended Practice for Modulating Current in High Brightness LEDs for Mitigating Health Risks to Viewers. That's otherwise known by the simple term of flicker. And I served as the working group secretary. This was the first standard on the subject of flicker to be developed using an open process, and it resulted in an awakening and actions in both industry and academia. When I joined the Standards Board in 1995, there were approximately 832 active IEEE standards, of which 529 have been withdrawn, leaving 303 from 1995 still active. As of 2020, there are 1,183 active IEEE standards. Using some very complicated, tricky math, I can conclude that between 2005 and 2020, 880 new IEEE standards were published. A little bit of trivia. Sometime prior to my becoming active in IEEE standards, the standards function was part of the Technical Activities Board. In 1995, the IEEE Standards Program was fluxing its wings as a global standards development organization. I recall that at my first Standards Board meeting in Geneva, Switzerland, my orientation with the then managing director, I was counseled to refer to the IEEE not as an international standards development organization, but to use the word global so as to not offend other SDOs. Well, things have changed. The IEEE Standards Association and Standards Board are now recognized as an international organization. The membership of the Standards Board and its committees has changed from being very US-centric to having representation from multiple continents and visitors from many parts of the world. As part of this growth, the IEEE Standards function expanded or morphed from just the Standards Board into the Standards Association with its multiple standards functions. The Standards Board changed its annual meeting plans from 4 meetings in the US to 2 meetings in the US and 1 in either Asia or Europe, to 1 meeting in the US, 1 in Europe, and 1 in Asia. And last but certainly not least, I would like to thank my wife Harriet for encouraging me and putting up with my absence from home to participate in our standards work. Thank you again for this honor.
We've come to the end of our 2020 IEEE SA Virtual Awards Ceremony. We hope you've enjoyed watching these awards videos. We appreciate your attendance and support of the engineers, associations, and working groups that have achieved this distinction in their fields of interest. We also want to thank all the honorees for their willingness to deal with the technological demands of an all-virtual format.
2020 will always be a year that we remember. And in the midst of unprecedented challenges, it's been our pleasure to recognize positive contributions to our world through the technical achievements of the 2020 awards recipients. Thank you for joining us for the 2020 IEEE SA Awards Ceremony, and we hope to be able to see you again in person soon.